Hi guys, my name is Chloe and this is the start of another weekly reading vlog. Today is Monday, January 6th and it's about 2:30 in the afternoon. I just put my daughter down for a nap and I finished The Witness by Nora Roberts. So this book was about a 16-year-old girl named Elizabeth who she lives with her mom. Her mom's a doctor and her mom has her whole life planned out for her. She's going to go to Harvard and be a doctor just like she is, and she's going to eat what she says to eat, and she's going to dress how she says to dress. Elizabeth decides, hey, I'm 16. I'm going to go do something for me. So she goes out and buys jeans, which is like a big deal because that's a different dress code than her mom would have. So she buys jeans and a hoodie, and she runs into this girl who's a year older than her in school. And together they decide to go to a club. And when they're there, of course, they're using fake IDs and stuff, and they get involved with these guys who are involved in the mafia. And so she witnesses something she's not supposed to see, and then she has to go on the run. And then the book jumps forward a few years to a girl named Abigail who lives in a remote kind of country area outside of this town, and she is very self-sufficient, and she works in security, so she knows all about computers and has cameras all over her property. She always carries a gun on her. She's just very, very closed off. If people see her or talk to her in town, she says the bare minimum. She's just very, very closed off. So the rest of the story is basically her learning to trust and let people in. This book was 3.5 stars for me, and I see a lot of people that I like and trust on Goodreads giving it like 4 and 5 stars. And I think the reason it wasn't that for me is because the beginning was so good, a mystery thriller. And then the rest of the book, first of all, it's like a 500 plus page book. And for me, it's just like anything that long, it's hard to justify being that long for me. But the rest of the book was primarily romance, I would say, with more of a mystery element. And that's not a bad thing. I just wanted more of the intense mystery thriller. I thought Abigail, the main character, it was nice to see her learn to trust. I feel like the person she chose to trust was a little, like, he was a great guy. I'm not saying anything about him, but I think just who he was by nature, I would have thought he would have been harder to trust for her, but it seemed to happen relatively easily. And I'm being very vague here because I don't want to, anything that's mystery or thriller, I don't want to give anything away. So I'm being vague on purpose, but I just thought she was a little easy to trust him. And again, it was just for 500 plus pages, I wanted more of the mystery thriller. And in the end, it ended fine. It just was nothing amazing. So, life update. Yesterday was Sunday and it was cleaning and organization day, and it was so good. You guys, like, nothing feeds my soul more than organizing. And I know that's really nerdy to say, but hopefully some of you get it. Finding like spaces like our garage that had just gotten overrun with stuff, and just kind of closets that had gotten overrun with stuff, just getting that clean and organized feels so good, especially with the fact that we are closing on our new house on Wednesday, and I just don't want to take anything that I don't have to. So that felt so good. And then last night, my dad came over for dinner, and it was really fun. It was just, my daughter loves her papa, and he's one of her favorite people, and so she was really excited. And then my husband normally gives her a bath, and he travels a lot for work, but he has not been in the past 6 months or so because of early pregnancy and all that kind of stuff. We had fertility issues, so he kind of had to be around. So he hasn't traveled very much. And so last night she was, Mama gives me a bath, and just everything was so novel and exciting to her that it was fun. So we found a small duffel bag in our garage full of coins. And I asked my husband, I texted my picture and said, what is this? And he said, it's just all the loose change from his pockets and stuff from like the whole time he was growing up. And so we took that to the bank today, ran it through the change thing at the bank, and it took forever, but we got it done, and that was really fun. And then we went to I've spoken about my grandmother before. She had a heart issue a couple months ago, and now she's doing great. She's at home, but she just doesn't get out a whole lot. And one of her favorite things is the Impossible Whopper at Burger King. We were right by Burger King. I called her, said, "Do you want it?" She said yes. So we went and got it for her. She was excited. Then we met up with my sister and went and had lunch with her. And we go out to lunch a lot. It's not good for our bank accounts, but I am like 18 weeks pregnant and still having nausea issues. And for some reason, my fridge and like my house is like the biggest culprit. I can go out to eat and I don't really care what you're eating or anything like that, but like being in the car with that Impossible Burger grossed me out, and like opening my fridge a lot of time grosses me out. We go to our local Kroger and they have a salad bar, and it's like $7 or $7.99 for all you can eat salad bar. And so it's awesome. We both eat and get so full, and it's a great deal. So if you have a local Kroger, check it out. Now I'm going to go take a nap, I really hope. And I don't know what we're going to do this afternoon. We really don't have any plans. It's cold outside. I'll hopefully get some reading done. I'm not sure when I'm going to start, but I will get on later and update with whatever I choose. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
So today was one of those days where I was banking on nap time, like getting to lay down myself, maybe read. But as you can hear, there's no napping going on. I just filmed a long clip and it's like so choppy and terrible because there's a lot of that going on. So I'm gonna go rescue my daughter and not nap and not start a book. So hopefully I'll update later and actually have something to say. Hi guys, so I'm going to come on really quick and just tell you what I started. I picked up Lucy Sullivan is Getting Married by Marian Keyes on audio today while I was cooking dinner and stuff. I started that, and that one is about a girl, her and her friends go to a psychic or a tarot card reader, I can't remember which, but whatever. This person tells her that she's going to get married within the next year or two, and she's got no prospects or anything, so she's like, really? But so that's that. It's Marian Keyes, which I really like her. She's a fun chick lit author. Her books are all pretty long too, and normally I can deal with those, so we'll see if I like that. Then physically, I started How to Be Lost by Amanda Ayer Ward. And this one, I'm not sure exactly what it's about. It's about, I think there's 3 sisters, and one goes missing or something when they're little. And so now it's another sister trying to find her as an adult. Perhaps I'm just like barely into this. So now we're just killing a few minutes before bath time, and then we'll take a bath and both go to bed. We are both just beat. So there was no nap happening for anybody today, and we're just tired. So that's the plan, and we'll check in tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, so it is Tuesday, January 7th, and I am just coming on really quick. I don't have any finishing to update on, but I am still reading Lucy Sullivan is Getting Married by Marian Keyes, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through that. And it is very typical Marian Keyes. It's a long story about British girls. There's 3 of them that live in a flat together. One of them's Lucy Sullivan, a tarot card reader, said she was going to get married, and so she meets this guy that she thinks is the one, but he's not. He's just kind of a lowlife, and so that's just the book. It's cute. It's entertaining. It's nothing exceptional. Then I'm also reading How to Be Lost by Amanda Ayer Ward, and that one I'm really liking. I'm reading it physically, and it's got short chapters, which I just love, and it's reading really quickly. Today I've had a killer headache, so physical reading has not happened nearly as much as I want it to, but I've gotten a fair amount of audiobook listening. And then tonight we're doing omelets, which is one of my favorite lazy dinners. Like, it's a go-to breakfast for dinner night when I just don't feel like cooking a whole lot. So we just make a massive omelet and we all eat it, and it's awesome. And then I put some potatoes in the air fryer, and it makes these really good little crispy bits, and so that's awesome. And that's the plan, and that's all I have to say for today.
Hey guys, so it is later in the evening on Tuesday. I finished Lucy Sullivan is Getting Married, and I gave it 3.5 stars. I think if you're a fan of Marian Keyes, you'll like this one. It was 640 pages long, so super long, very typical Marian Keyes. Like, I wrote my review on Goodreads, and there's really not that much you can say because it's really just a story that is following Lucy Sullivan and her flatmates and her coworkers. And not a whole lot happens, but we just follow these girls, women, every day in their day-to-day, in their relationships and their work and their friendship. And I really my favorite genre, I would say, is women's fiction. And so this one is very much women's fiction with romance. There's some family elements. Her dad has some alcohol issues, and so there's that going on. And I thought it was really good for what it is. That being said, if you're not a fan of Marian Keyes, or if you haven't ever tried her, this one may or may not be the best. There's some funny parts. There's some serious parts. Again, 3.5 stars, so it's not like a 5-star book that I loved. It was just pretty cute. You know from the beginning, like pretty early on, who she's going to end up with, and I was happy about it. She says her type is like the starving artist that has no ambition, no money, and I just laughed because she was also saying how, like, if a man makes it too easy, it is such a turnoff to her that she likes these guys who, like, really are hard to get and treat her like junk. And that is just funny because it seems like that is a lot of young ladies' types. So that made me laugh. The biggest complaint I have about this book is the fat shaming is ridiculous. In the beginning, one of her coworkers is overweight, and the fat shaming is ridiculous, and it's never really addressed or corrected or anything like that. Like, it was very offensive, very, very terrible. And that I took down at least a star for me because that is just, it was disgusting. So overall, this one's kind of a guilty pleasure for me. Not the greatest, but that's that. So also, I have been thinking for days about what to name my channel, because right now it's Chloe B. That's my name. And I looked on YouTube and there's a lot of Chloe B's. And so I don't want to be that. And I want something that is a little more reflecting of what I'm doing and who I am. And so I think what I have settled on is Always Booked. And that's a little play on words because of being bookish. Also, I'm the type that just loves to have plans all the time, even if that plan is like I'm going to be at home and do nothing and not answer my phone for a couple hours. So I'm a social introvert, I would say. I really like to have plans and do things and be out and about, but then I also really like to be alone and schedule time to do my thing. So that's what I'm going with, Always Booked. So as of probably you seeing this video, the name will be changed. And I think that I'm the only one out there on YouTube. So that's that. And I don't think I'll change my Instagram or anything like that. So that'll all still be linked down below. I link in my Instagram, my Goodreads, and I guess that's it, in the comments below, or in the whatever, in the bottom part below every time. So if you want to connect with me on any other platform, let me know. That's all I have for tonight. I may start another audiobook, or I may just call it, because that is a 640-page book that I started last night, so I've been listening a lot. That's all. I'll stop talking. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Hi guys, it is Wednesday, January 8th, and today has been a big day. It's already 4:45, and I haven't updated it all, but that's because today was closing day. So today has been a little crazy. My husband took the day off work, and we got up and ate breakfast and stuff, and then we went to the bank to do the wire transfer or whatever, and then we had like 20 or 25 minutes, and we had to stay in this area, and there's a Panera in the area, and so we went and got coffee, and I had my book, and so I read just a little bit of How to Be Lost, but by the time we got our coffee and I got my daughter a drink and that kind of stuff, we didn't have very much time. So that one, I'm realizing right now that reading 2 books is not working for me very well, because I also started last night In 20 Years by Alison Wynne Scott. And that one and How to Be Lost both have kind of a similar enough characters that it takes me a chapter or two to be like, okay, here's the storyline, here's what's going on, here's what's different about everybody, here's, so I hate when that happens, when I'm reading 2 that are too similar. So anyway, I just finished In 20 Years by Alison Wynne Scott. So that one, I don't think I've said anything about. That one is about a group of 6 friends in college who it's their senior year, and like kind of the ringleader of the group is named B, and she is an orphan basically, and so she needs her friends to be family, and they are very, very, very close knit, and she wants it to always stay that way. So she makes them all promise that they will always be friends, and so they do, and they basically write themselves like kind of goals or like letters about what they want the next 20 years to be like. And then the goal is that then when they're 40, they'll all get back together and see how their lives are, if they've achieved their goals and that kind of stuff. So B dies, and so then they all come back together a little bit early to celebrate her birthday, and she had also bought the house that they all lived in. So they all go back to this house to celebrate B and just reconnect. They had all had a big falling out after 2 of them got married. So at the wedding, they had a big falling out, and they haven't really stayed in touch. So that's the story basically, is they all go back and we hear about kind of where their lives are and their relationships with each other, and they go back and they're not really on good terms with each other. And so we kind of figure out, are they lifelong friends? Can they work it out? Can they not? I thought going into this one, I was really scared that 6 perspectives would be really confusing and hard to follow. And it wasn't. I thought Allison Winscott did an awesome job of making them all individual enough that I was very easily able to keep everybody straight. And we do hear perspectives from all 6 of them. So that was nice. The thing I have, the complaint I have is that we got a lot about their connections with each other, but we didn't get to know a whole lot about them as individuals. And so I feel like none of them were very likable, and I just didn't connect with any of them. When you go, I mean, it's about 5 characters, but we do get some of B's perspective from kind of beyond and also in the past, because it jumps between past and present. So when you have that many perspectives, and it's like a 330-page book, so it's not terribly long, I just feel like we couldn't get to know them very well. And that really was a detriment, because the 6 of them all have unique storylines. Catherine and Owen are 2 that are married, and she is like a mega blogger and almost like Martha Stewart kind of person. She's got deals with HGTV and Target and that kind of stuff going. And so he's a stay-at-home dad. And so that dynamic I would have really liked to hear more about. Lindy, she is a lesbian, I guess, rock star. And that's her character is where I have huge complaints about the book, because she, I guess, like tabloids, I don't know if she ever self-identifies as lesbian, but tabloids kind of identify her as lesbian. But she's got like a girlfriend, but she's also sleeping with a bunch of guys. So she clearly seems to be more bisexual or something. Her character, I think, was the exact stereotype that does such disservice to bisexuals, because she was very much, she couldn't commit to anybody. She would sleep with anything that walks, and just very... like that, very much that stereotype. And I personally am not bisexual, and so I can't say anything about like the accuracy of that experience or how somebody who lives that experience would feel about this. But as a heterosexual woman, it irritated me, and so I would imagine it would really irritate somebody who could see themselves in Lindy. But anyway, she was a rock star, and the only reason we get stories about her sexuality is because it does relate to the friend group, and she is by far the most selfish of the group, and everybody knows it and kind of treats her, or they kind of, it's just well known that she's very selfish and very self-absorbed. And so that Lindy is another character. Annie, she has always been a little meek and self-conscious, and she is now married to a wealthy man. She's a stay-at-home mom. She's in the PTA. She has this perfectly curated Instagram and Facebook to make her life look like it's something desirable when she doesn't feel like it is. Her husband and she have a kind of weird relationship, and that is revealed through this book. And then there's Colin, and Colin is a little bit, he was the most like confusing, or the one that I really wanted to know more about, because he is a womanizer, charmer. He is known, like, from college to now. He's always got women in and out of his bed. He is a plastic surgeon, a famous plastic surgeon now. Annie has always had a crush on him, but that never really came to fruition, or maybe it did, I don't know. But anyway, he's the one who knew Bee the best, and he knows a secret that Bee chose to tell him and only him. And so I wish we would have gotten a little more about him, because we see this womanizer side, we kind of see the soft side through Bee, but I just feel like all of the characters, we didn't know them as individuals enough. We just knew A connects to B and B connects to C, and these are how these people intertwine. And so that was my complaint about the book. I gave it 3.5 stars. If I did quarter stars, I'd probably do like 3.25. I thought the writing style was really good. I really like this author. So I just don't feel like this was her best. And I feel like it's hard to do. When you do that many characters, it's hard to make it like when you go that wide, it's hard to go deep enough without being a million pages long of stuff you don't care about. So overall, I thought it was okay. 3.5 stars. So now we did the closing thing. We took a bunch of boxes over there, and we are working on how we're going to use the space, and we're doing a few things to it. We're doing some stone around the fireplace, kind of like we have here, and taking carpet up in the dining room, taking some shelves out in my daughter's room, basically just a bunch of little stuff that we're going to try to do before we go to Disney, and then we'll probably finish moving when we get back. So that's the plan. Tonight I'm going to make mushroom stroganoff. We, around here, we don't eat any meat except for shrimp and canned tuna. We're kind of, I guess, pescatarians, but I also am lactose intolerant, so we don't do dairy. Anyway, so we're making basically beef stroganoff, but with mushrooms instead of beef. And that's the plan for dinner. And then hopefully I can get a little more done in my physical book of How to Be Lost, because that one reads super fast. I think I've said that before. I will start something on audio that I can listen to while I'm cooking, probably. Because right now, if I turn on Bye 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 on Alexa on repeat, we've listened to that. Like, my husband got on Amazon, because I guess it plays through Amazon, and he said it's been played for like 6 hours in the past couple days, and that's true. I mean, we turn it on, she just will dance and dance and dance and dance, and NSYNC's the best babysitter I ever had. So just kidding, but it really is helping me get a lot done. So I'll listen to an audiobook while I make dinner. I'm not sure what it will be, but I'll update either later tonight or probably tomorrow with what I choose and how things are going. So, excuse me, hope you're having an awesome night, and we'll talk to you later.
Hey guys, it is Thursday, January 9th, and I just am coming on quickly. We're out and about, obviously, and I'm coming on to tell you that I just finished Then Came Heaven by Laverl Spencer. And this was my first Laverl Spencer, and the introduction is by the author, and she says that it's her last book before she retires, and it was written in 1997. So I don't know if she came back, but that means all of her backlist is really backlist. So I read it, and it's about at the very beginning, a woman dies. She runs her car into an oncoming train, and so she dies, and that's not a spoiler because that's the very beginning, like the very, very beginning of the book. And so then she leaves behind her husband and 2 little girls. And so the book is about her husband grieving, as well as her girls go to a Catholic school where all the teachers are nuns and that kind of stuff. And it's about one of the nuns named Sister Regina. And the things I liked about this book were, I liked that it starts off like with a bang, literally, and it really gets you hooked in at the beginning. I liked that you could really feel the emotional, like, mourning and that kind of stuff in the characters in the beginning. Like the husband, Regina gets really upset by it. There's just, like, you can really feel the grief. And so I thought that was really good. And I liked the book has a lot of personal meaning to the author. Whoops, just dropped my phone. But the book has a lot of personal meaning to the author. She explains it in the beginning that like Christina is kind of a parallel story to her mom or something, and the town is very like is similar to her hometown and the Catholic Church and that kind of stuff. So I like that it had meaning to her. The things I did not like were that the second half, which is like the romance half, I really didn't like. I thought it was not good. And I was just so grossed out by how quick Eddie, her husband, moves on. It's like, supposedly this Christina was the love of his life, and she was this awesome lady. She like that he is the school janitor as well as does a lot for the church, and so their family was very like well loved and well renowned in this town as just being good people. And like 4 months later, he has moved on, and it just is gross to me. Like I'm all about do what you gotta do. I don't know what the death of a spouse is like. I don't know how moving on would be, but it just seemed like this lady was built up as so perfect, and in the beginning the grief was so strong, nobody can ever get over it, and then 4 months later everybody's over it and everybody's moved on. And so I thought that was too quick, not good. I also like want to know, what the heck was Christina like, did she intentionally kill herself? Because she would like, the train was coming and she saw it coming and just kept going. So was that intentional? Like I wish there was never any explanation about the death. Like, was that an accident? Was it intentional? What was going on? I wish I would have known. So I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was like, I will not read it again. I'll probably unhaul it. But I'm not turned off by Lavrel Spencer. I have 2 others on my shelf from her that my sister gave me, and they are about completely different things. I didn't know if maybe she was like kind of like Jan Karen, where they all are kind of small town religious type books, and it doesn't seem like she is that way. So, and like I said, I think Bree Hill was talking about reading something of hers and liking it. So I think maybe I just picked the wrong one to start with, and it was well written, quick read. I'll read something of hers again, but 3 stars on that one. So now what we're doing is we are going to pick paint colors for little Mrs. Room. She loves purple, so we're gonna get some lilac and see if we can find a good purple for her room. And then the kids' rooms are connected by like a Jack and Jill bathroom or whatever they're called. And so I think I might paint that, just that kind of stuff. So we're going to go get paint samples, go to the grocery store, go to our new house. And the new house, the people before us left behind a slide and a swing and like a whole playground set. And we're like stoked about it. And there's a basketball hoop in the front yard. But that means that like going back and forth between houses, my daughter is always so bummed to come to like our old house, and she just wants to be at the new house all the time because it's got this built-in stuff. And as you can see, I'm wearing like 17 layers. So is she. It's cold out. We really aren't going to be playing on the swings and slides a whole lot, and we're not going to be shooting hoops, but I guess she just likes to see it and likes to be there, and it's fun and exciting for everybody. So that's our morning. I will probably start something later on audio or on ebook or something that I can have on the go, because I still do have my physical book. I just don't think I'll have any time to read it today, or during the day at least. So if I start anything else or get any progress, I will update later tonight, and we'll talk to you later.
I'm just coming on really quick to tell you that it's about 2:30 on Thursday still. So I picked up Accused by Lisa Scottolini, and I really like Lisa Scottolini. I feel like her mystery, suspense, thriller, whatever, however you want to categorize them, but they're always like 4-star books for me. They're sometimes a little too long, sometimes a little rabbit hole-y, but overall pretty good. And so I'm excited. This one is the start of a series, and it's called let me see if I can find it really quick, Rosato and D'Annunzio. And so that is the name of the series. It's a 6-book series, and I've only got this first one on my shelves, and so I don't know what I'll do if I like it, because I am like such a completionist. I like to read all of the series within a relatively close timeline if I can, and if I really like it, then that's going to really throw off my reading just on my TBR, physical TBR. But I'm going to go now because there's so much banging. And in the last set of clips, it's like obnoxious to listen to, but it was a 10-minute clip that I don't want to refilm. So I'm going to go so we don't have another one of those. Hi everyone, I'm coming on. It's about 5 o'clock on Thursday, and I just finished How to Be Lost by Amanda Ayer Ward. And I really wish this was a more recently written book. It was published in 2005, so I'm guessing a lot of you have not read it, or if you have, you don't remember it. But anyway, because I just finished it, hold on. Okay, sorry, I'm back. And I was talking about How to Be Lost by Amanda Ayer Ward, and I thought that this book was so good. I just read like 200 plus pages in the hour and a half or hour 45 minutes that my daughter napped. So it was a really quick read, really like it's short chapters like Sarah from Steeped in Books called potato chip chapters. Like I just kept having to go back for one more until I finished it. And so I thought this was so good, but then I finished it and it's like, what? Like it's just... I read other reviews and people said it perfectly. This feels like a draft. Like there are so many unanswered questions in this one, and not in a way that's like the author was intentional about doing it. It was more just in a way. Hi. It was more in a way that it's like she didn't know how to wrap it up or how to like connect everything, so she just stopped. And I thought, I mean, this was 4.5 stars for me. And then until the end where I'm like, what? Like, I just needed a little bit more from it. There were so many things started that just didn't get finished. And I thought it was so good. Brief summary of what this is about. It's kind of a mystery sort of thing. So I'm not going to say too much, but basically there is this family that has 3 daughters. And one day one of the daughters goes missing. And so then now they're grown adults and dad has died. The mom, it's very false cheery, just so depressed and can't really get over or move on her daughter being missing. And there's a guy, some sort of, I don't know if he's a lawyer or a journalist or something, coming, and I think he's a lawyer that is trying to connect this girl. Her name was Ellie, the missing sister. Ellie's disappearance to another person who was found dead. And so to do that, he has to get the family to admit that she's dead. And they are torn on if they think she's dead or if she's just out there still missing somewhere. And so then one sister tries to go find her. And so we get that protagonist's perspective the most. Her name is Caroline. And then we don't hear from the other sister, who's Madeline. We don't hear from her directly at all, but then we do hear from a random person named Agnes and then another guy named Bernard. And so it hints at how they're all connected, and we kind of know, but we never get resolution to how Ellie was kidnapped or who kidnapped her or if she's dead or alive really. And we don't get resolution. And like I said, it's in a way that seems unintentional, in a way that seems like the author just didn't know how to connect everything, and she needed like this was a draft, like she needed some editor or some guidance on how to connect things, or at least connect things a little bit more so there was at least reason to believe, a reason to make your own conclusion. Because where it is now, it's like, wait, I mean, there's just not enough to make your own conclusion, really. So I'm torn on what to rate this book because I really liked it. I liked the reading experience. The chapters were great. The writing was enthralling. Like, I was very engaged. But I mean, the whole story plot line is kind of like unfinished. So probably 3.5, 4 stars. I may read this again at some point just to see if I can glean anything else from it that would make conclusions a little more clear. But based on what everybody else is saying on Goodreads, it kind of seems like that's the consensus, that there's just not enough here to really draw good conclusions. So that's this book. And tonight is leftovers night, and that is my favorite day of the week. I'm not even kidding. Like, because we eat lunch out so much, we have one night a week that's leftovers. typically maybe 2, and it's just awesome because then like it's 5 o'clock and I'm not even thinking about dinner yet because we don't eat till 6. So that's awesome. I probably won't check in anymore tonight. I don't know if I'm going to start anything else physically because I started Accused on audiobook this morning or whenever that was. And once I finish that, I think I'm going to switch to ebook for a while and just do it that way. So I will update you probably tomorrow and let you know how things are going, and we'll check in then. Bye.
Hey guys, good morning. It is Friday, January 10th, and I'm just coming on really quick to tell you that I have picked up physically The Upside of Unrequited. I took the dust jacket off, so the cover looks like nothing, so I'm not going to hold it up, but I decided to pick that up because it's completely unrelated to the audiobook I'm listening to. I'm listening to Accused by Lisa Scottolini, which is kind of a crime fiction. This one is obviously YA. I haven't read Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, so I don't know if that is a bad thing or not, but so that's what I'm picking up. If you've read this book and I need to read Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda first, let me know, or if I'm going to read it without reading the other, but if I need to go back then and read it, let me know, or just let me know your thoughts on this book. So I will check in later and we'll talk to you then. Okay guys, it's almost noon and it is like pouring ice outside, so I guess sleeting, and we're supposed to get like an ice storm tonight. And really, like, if I didn't have lights on in my house, it would be like 9 o'clock at night. Like, it is so dark and gross outside. It's supposed to turn to snow tonight, and I don't know what's going to happen, but we are about to go to lunch. We went to a play date this morning, and then we're about to go to lunch with my husband, and then we're coming home and putting on PJs and hopefully taking some epic naps and reading and hanging out and being cozy for the next 48 hours. So,
hey everyone, it's about 5 o'clock on Friday, and I've got a lot of artificial lighting going on right now because it is still dark and stormy. They actually let school out at 1 o'clock, I think, and like the library closed at 1:30, and really the town's just kind of shutting down because what's coming down right now is ice and ice, yes, and so that makes driving really dangerous. And so we're just kind of hunkered in. We went to lunch, and that was dumb. We should have just stayed in. But again, darn nausea. I just like eating at home. I can't manage it more than once a day. And for some reason, during the day, it's just like nothing. I can't think of putting anything in my mouth from this house. So that's really weird. It was kind of like that with her, but not this late in the game. So I don't know. This pregnancy has been so different, and personally, I don't want to get too much into it right now because it's just not the topic of this video, but like body image during pregnancy is a weird thing, and this time I'm gaining weight a lot more and a lot like everywhere. And I know second pregnancy or subsequent pregnancies, they always say you get bigger like belly wise, and that's sort of happening, but it's just kind of sort of happening everywhere. And it's hard to, I'm one of the lucky ones that kind of holds on to weight while breastfeeding. So I just remember what a journey it was with her, and it's kind of freaking me out today, but these days come and go. So that's not the point of this video. What I'm going to talk about now is I finished Accused by Lisa Scottolini, and I loved it. It was, again, just like I said, a 4-star book. Lisa Scottolini, she's like a 4-star constantly for me. This one was the first book in the Rosato and D'Annunzio series, I believe is what it was called. And I didn't know there's a whole series before it that's called the Rosato and Associates series, where Rosato is this person, like the head of the law firm. I don't know what you call it, but and then once D'Annunzio becomes a partner, it becomes a new series. The first series is like 12 books, and then Rosato and D'Annunzio is like 6 more. So I would call it all one series. It's like an 18-book series in my mind. So this one, I felt like you could totally read it as a standalone. Me being me, I like to read a series from start to finish, and I'm very much a completionist, very much like to do things in order. So I feel like I would have liked it better had I gotten the whole 12 books before, because this one was about a mystery. So this girl, a 13-year-old girl, comes to the law firm and wants to hire Mary D'Annunzio. And her sister was killed 6 years ago, I think, and she doesn't believe that the person who is in jail for it is the person who actually did it. And she's 13, so you're probably thinking, what are the likelihoods of that? But her family is a very, very wealthy family, and she's got a trust that was set up by her grandfather, and whoever the person who doles out the money, and like whoever, I can't think of the word, but he's allowing her to take out the money now to pay Mary D'Annunzio to be her lawyer. So the parents are not on board, and the whole case, or the whole story, is her trying to kind of reopen this case and see if the person behind bars is really the person that killed her sister. The murder mystery part of this book was good. I thought it was really easy to understand. It was intriguing enough that it kept the pages turning, and it read pretty quick. We get not a lot, but a fair amount of Mary's personal life, and she comes from a big Italian family, and I would almost say that the Italian family is exaggerated, but I know Lisa Scottoline is Italian and from a big Italian family, so maybe it's accurate to her experience, or maybe it's just a comedic exaggeration, because I know she also writes quite a few like comedic memoirs, and so she may have just been trying to be a little funny by having them be over the top. But regardless, that's going on. But there is mention of her twin sister, and there's just brief mention that I really want to know more about that, and I'm wondering if that either has happened in prior books or if it's coming in future books. And then also, she has been married and her husband died in a tragic accident, and I am guessing that's been brought up before. And so that's why I would have liked to read the whole series before reading this, because I feel like what really sold this book for me was Mary and the characters in the law firm. It's an all-woman law firm in Philadelphia, and I just loved it. I think there's 4 of them maybe, and I would gladly read the rest of the series because I really liked the characters, and I just feel like I wish I would have had a little more background on the history, but again, I didn't know that there was a series prior to this series. So there's a little bit of suspending your disbelief when it comes to the case. There's, Mary makes a decision that I don't know any lawyer who would do, especially one who's just made partner. But if you've read this book, you probably know what I'm talking about. But whatever, I thought it was good. Still worthy of a 4-star. If you have read this series or the Rosato and Associates series, let me know what you think. Is it worth 18 books? Because that's a lot of books. And so, I don't know. I'm not going to read it right now because, like I said, I was kind of scared to read this book that I was going to need to binge the rest. But knowing that there's a whole 12-book series before and then 5 more books after makes me okay, if I'm going to commit to doing that, it's going to be a different project, different time. I am still reading The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I read a little bit of that during nap time, but I also fell down a nostalgia rabbit hole where I was looking at old pictures. We had a bunch of kids in our wedding because we have tons of nieces and nephews. My daughter was number 12 on my side of grandkids for my parents, and then on my husband's side, there's just 2 grandkids, 2, and they actually weren't there, but then we have cousins and all that kind of stuff that are all younger, and so on his side. So long story short, we took all the kids that were involved in the wedding, and I'm really a nerdy crafter, and so I made shirts, and we went and did a cosmic bowling party, and it was so fun. So I'll insert a picture, but it's just it doesn't seem like that long ago that we got married, but these kids are huge now, and somehow I'm going to say we haven't aged. Anyway, that's all. Tonight I'm making a stovetop enchilada thing, and it's really good. It's basically just all the enchilada fillings, and then I air fry tortillas, and then you mix them in right at the end. And so with enchilada sauce and stuff, it's pretty good, pretty easy. So that's what I'm going to get up and do now, and try to stay warm and safe in this icy sludge. Happy Friday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hi everyone, it is Saturday, January 11th, and I am just checking in because I just finished The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli, and I really liked it. It was 4 stars for me. I thought it was really cute, really relatable. I think no matter who you are, I think you can relate to an unrequited crush in high school or something, that you liked somebody and you weren't sure if they liked you or whatever, and just that whole dichotomy of like being with your friends and they're dating people and you're kind of jealous, but you're also happy for them. I just thought that was really good. I thought the diversity was really good. Overall, I just really enjoyed the story. If you haven't heard about it, it's about a girl named Molly who is overweight, and she's twins with a girl named Cassie who is just all the things Molly's not. She's confident. She's got tons of, I think she's bisexual. I don't think she's a lesbian, but she's dates a girl in this book, so I don't know if she's bisexual or lesbian or what, but I think it says she's bisexual. Anyway, she always has somebody to date. She's super confident about that, and Molly she's had 26 crushes that are unrequited, and she just never does anything about it because she's so insecure, and I just thought it was so good, and that's really all I want to say about that. Today it is still snowing, and last night my parents were supposed to come home from California. They live in the same town that I do, but they have a business out in California, and so they go there quite frequently. And they canceled all the flights into our town yesterday because we have a airport, but it's a smaller airport, and they don't have enough equipment to de-ice. So it was so icy and bad last night that they just canceled everything. So now they're supposed to be getting home at like 10 or 10:30, and my daughter and I are supposed to go get them from the airport, but I haven't heard. I don't think they've left Dallas yet, so we'll see. We're going to go get them at some point. My husband went to a town about an hour away because he's getting supplies for our new house for decking or flooring or fencing or something. I don't know. So he's gone for the day. We're going to go pick up my parents at some point. I think we're going to do lunch with them. And then it's, like I said, it's still snowing, so not enough to like sled or do anything fun, but enough that we don't really want to be outside a whole lot. So I think we're going to stay in. My daughter's asking me to color right now, so I think we're going to color for a little bit, and that's the plan. So I will check in. As of now, I'm not reading a single thing, so we will check in later when I have an update about something that I've picked or something that we're doing. Bye. Hey everyone, it's about 4:30 on Saturday. And I'm just coming on real quick to let you know that I started 2 different things. I started More Than It Hurts You by Darren Strauss. And this book it's been on my shelf forever, and it sounds intriguing enough to me. I really just read a small blurb about it, but it's about a man whose infant son is taken into the hospital and codes, and then they just take him out. And so take him out of the hospital. Like he gets back and he's okay, and then they just take him out of the hospital. And so I don't know what is going to happen with that. It's got a 2.92 rating on Goodreads, and so I'm really scared about it. But I have it on audio, so if it's terrible, hopefully I can still listen to it. It's on Scribd, or Scribed, or however you say it. I say Scribd because that's my best guess. I don't know, and the fastest you can go on that is 2.0 speed. And I wish you could go faster, because this one, so far, it's got like a couple different storylines going on. The writing style is very weird. I'm such a completionist, I will probably finish it. I very, 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 very rarely DNF, so I'll probably finish it. It's not terrible. I mean, the plot line is interesting. It's just really unfocused, and there's like kind of a couple different things going on that I'm sure will connect, but it's just the writing style is somewhat detached, and so it's okay, but I can see why people don't love it. Then physically, I started Cures for Heartbreak by Margot Rabb, maybe. And this one is, it's got a bunch of food on the cover, and the back says 15-year-old Mia Perlman writes these words in her journal the night her mother is diagnosed with cancer. If she dies, I'll die. And then it goes on, her mom dies, it says on the back. And so I think about the heartbreak of losing her mother, which is interesting and not something I've read a whole lot about. And my mom had cancer
and beat it. So I just think this might be a good kind of heartfelt, maybe tearjerker. The reason I picked it is because it's really short. It is, let's see, like 35 pages. And so this is really short. It is YA, and it reads, I mean, it's relatively big font. So I think this one will read really quickly because I am starting on Monday a buddy read with Kendra from Kendra Loves Books of, I can't think of what it's called, but a book by Renee Carlino. And so I want to make sure that I've got my physical book and my audiobook finished by Monday so I can start fresh with that. And so that's what I'm reading. This morning I started off with big plans of packing. And like my daughter, when she was born, she was given so many blankets. Like so many blankets. Everyone in the family either crocheted her something or quilted her something. And then we swaddled her a lot. She loved to be swaddled. And we always found it was easiest just with blankets. So, long story short, this girl has like 48,000 blankets. So I packed them all up, put them in a box to move to the new house, and she unpacked them all. And so then I repacked them, she unpacked them, and she's just, she's just looking at them and stuff. And same goes with, I was trying to pack up a closet. And so really I've decided that's not a good plan to try to pack when you're home alone with a 2-year-old. So instead, what we did, like I said, is laid on the floor and colored for a while, and then we went and picked up my parents at the airport, and then we went to lunch with them. And then I just want to shout out everybody who does grocery, like online grocery pickup. The people who do that deserve like a medal and hot chocolate with every delivery, because it is terrible weather. Like I said, it's iced over everywhere, and it's 17 degrees, so nothing is melting. It's freezing. It's windy. It's just miserable out. And these people, like, I went to Walmart grocery pickup, and all the aisles all the like car stalls were full, and people those people, seriously, they are the true heroes of the winter. So we did that. So she stayed with my parents and played while I went to Walmart, picked up my groceries, came and unloaded them. Then we came home, did nap. Now we're up. She's eating avocado on cracker for her snack, and I'm about to start making dinner here in half an hour or so. And that's that. My husband should be home this evening, so hopefully I'll get a little bit of this physical reading done. I listened to the audiobook while she was napping because I was doing stuff, so hopefully I can make good progress in those, and that one's not too bad or put me in a slump. I almost wish I didn't look at Goodreads before, until I finish a book, because this book, like, now I've just automatically got like the expectation that I'm not going to like it. And I feel like if I would have gone in not knowing that, maybe I would have enjoyed it more, but we'll see. So that's the plan for tonight, and I don't know if I'll check in again later, but we'll talk to you later sometime. Bye. Hey everyone, I'm down in my basement, and the lighting is horrible, and the background is gross, but my daughter is napping, and I have failed every single time I've tried to film while she's napping. So this time I'm trying to be downstairs, and now I'm a whole floor away from her, so hopefully she won't hear me and she'll continue to nap. So I just finished More Than It Hurts You by Darren Strauss. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I thought the premise was so interesting. It's a book about Munchausen by proxy, which is a mental illness in which a parent or a caregiver or something invokes some sort of illness or injury on a child, somebody they're taking care of, to get attention for themselves. And so this is about a couple named Josh and Dory, and they have an 8-month-old son. And one day Josh gets a call that they're in the ICU. Their little boy has had blood in his vomit, and he coded, and he's just not doing well. And so he goes to the ICU, and Dory, the mom, is there, and she is a phlebotomist, which is somebody who draws blood. And so she thinks she knows everything medical. And I mean, I'm sure she knows more than your average Joe, but she's not a doctor. So she takes him into the hospital, and then they say he's fine or whatever, give him some Pedialyte and send her home. And so then she gets in the car, and that's when he codes. So she brings him back in, and there's controversy over if she told them about the blood in the vomit or not. And because the doctors say she didn't say that, she's saying she did say that, and they didn't run the appropriate tests, whatever. So now they're in the hospital. He's doing better, and she says she wants to take him home. And they're saying, no, we need to run all these other tests to find out what's going on or why he had that blood in his vomit. And she says, nope, we're taking him home. So they take him home. And I thought that was interesting. I thought the dad just kind of went along with it a little too easily. But anyway, then the doctor that treats them thinks something's a little sketchy about Dory. And so the rest of the book is kind of just finding out what's wrong with this kid and kind of what's wrong, if anything, with Dory and how they navigate this whole situation. And so I thought that premise is so good. I have read other books about this Munchausen by proxy, and I just think it's a terrifying and so intriguing situation, or like mental illness. And so it's like hard to lose my interest with that topic. But this one I thought did a lot of things wrong. I thought there was so much time wasted on developing characters that were not necessary to the story. For example, Dr. Stokes' dad is a convicted felon, and he just got out of prison. And we spend so much time learning about him and his past and just his life, and he added nothing to the story. So that was really unnecessary. It also goes down like storylines that have nothing to do with the story. So Dr. Stokes goes on dates that, like, who cares? It had nothing to do with the story. Then the book also tries to tackle race, gender, and sexuality. And again, none of those are the point of the story. And so I think if you're going to bring up those topics, they need to be done a lot better than they were in this book. I also thought all of the characters were so unlikable. Dr. Stokes was made to be unlikable. Josh was made to be unlikable. Dory was made to be unlikable. So, like, at the end, I just felt like, ew, I just read a gross story about a mom who may or may not be hurting her baby. And, like, Dr. Stokes' motivation for pursuing the case, I don't know if it was actually to help the kid. And like the couple, I don't know if they were, what their interests were. It was just really like, ugh. So that's that, 3 stars. As far as the day goes, I took my daughter to my parents' house, and my husband went to he went to a different town to pick up more supplies for the house. And I went to paint at our new house. And what my plan was to paint just samples in both of the kids' rooms and their bathroom. And I did that, and I did a bunch of different colors, so it took a while. I think I might have found my side hustle. Like painting, I put an audiobook in and just was painting away, and that was so nice. Like it was so just relaxing and like productive, because you can see the paint going on the wall and you can tell you're doing good things. And like I really enjoyed it. And so I've only done samples, and so I need to do a lot more, but I think I'm going to do like all of the bathrooms, because our house is all just a neutral color. It's a pretty color, but like bathrooms and stuff I feel like can be a little more fun. And so I think I'm going to do all of the bathrooms. And yeah, so that's the plan. Right now my daughter's napping, and I just want to say right now, we used to, like on weekends and stuff, we would like kind of argue over who put her down, because she hates napping. She's always hated napping. She's not a good napper. And so it's like, who wants to be bad guy and go put her down? And nobody does. But now I like love doing it, because she will sing with you, or with me anyway. And like I sing at nap time, I almost always sing "You Are My Sunshine." And so she will like echo everything I say, and she'll sing it. And at night we have like a "Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep" song, and she will echo. And it's just so fun. Her sweet little voice, I don't ever want it to change. Like this 2-year-old time is my favorite. I'm loving this stage. So when she gets up, I think we're going to go over to the house. We went after lunch and bought a couple more paint samples, one for her room, one for the other baby's room. And So I think we're going to go put those up after she gets up, and then maybe do another leftovers night because she doesn't normally get up until 4. So by the time we go to the bathroom, get a snack, it's like 4:30. Then by the time we go over there, put up the paint samples, come home, it's going to be like 5 or 5:30. And so we just have to do something quick. So we have enough of odds and ends. I think we might do a second leftovers night, and y'all know that's my favorite. So that's the plan. I think I will probably close out this vlog now. I started the More Than It Hurts You was audio, and so I started Intercepted by Alexa Martin when I finished, because I had finished that and still have more painting to do. So I started Intercepted, and so far it's really cute. I'm not very far in, but I'm really liking it. I'll talk more about it when I'm further in. And I think that'll probably be tomorrow. I'm also still reading Cures for Heartbreak by Margot Rabb. I don't know. Rabb. I've got like 140 pages left because, like I said, it's like a 230 page book. So it's not long at all. We've just kind of been go, go, go. And so hopefully I will finish that sometime soon, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.